Jewish groups are growing increasingly alarmed over what they say is an increase in anti-Semitic rhetoric in politics, getting mainstreamed, if you will. It's showing up in pop culture and obviously now in the world of sports. In Nevada, for example, the campaign for Republican Senate candidate Adam Laxalt denounced tweets from a recently fired staffer who tweeted that Jews are part of a cult. All of that comes as NBC News is reporting that documents show that Ye, the rapper formerly known as Kanye West, paid a settlement to a former employee who claims he praised Hitler and Nazis during meetings, plural. According to those documents, 6 people who have worked for Ye over the past 5 years have said they also heard him praise Hitler or discuss conspiracy theories about Jewish people. Meanwhile, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver says he'll be meeting with Kyrie Irving after the Brooklyn Nets star posted a link on social media promoting an anti-Semitic movie and book. Irving has since removed the post. He plans to make a donation to anti-hate groups. In a joint statement with the Anti-Defamation League, he stated that he opposes all forms of hatred and oppression. But here was his answer today when he was asked if he's anti-Semitic.
I told you guys how I felt. I respect all walks of life and embrace all walks of life. That's where I sit.
I think what people want to hear, though, is just a yes or no on that question. Yes or no.
I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
Joined now by Jonathan Greenblatt, CEO and the National Director of the Anti-Defamation League. Jonathan, simple question. Why is Kyrie Irving still an employee of the Brooklyn Nets and still playing basketball?
Well, I think you have to ask the Brooklyn Nets that, not me, but I will tell you what he said today was really troubling, disappointing, and just downright wrong. When someone asks you whether or not you're anti-Semitic, the answer is, or should be, no, period, full stop. That you don't support anti-Semitism, that you don't support anti-Jewish hate, just like you shouldn't support all forms of hate. The reality is I think what we talked about last night, what we agreed to with the Nets and with Kyrie, was a real step forward, Chuck. The notion of funding new anti-Semitism education to address the ignorance that's often behind anti-Jewish hate. And creating, if you will, community conversations in Brooklyn and beyond to talk about Black-Jewish relations. That's where we need to go to create dialogue and healing so we move forward. But it starts with accountability. That's what was so disappointing about what he said today.
Well, Jonathan, it really is. It always is more troubling to me whenever there's anti-Semitism or racism between somebody who's Jewish and somebody who's African-American. It's like, hey, we've been on the same side of this. You know, we've each had to help each other in these bad times. It really bothers me when we see this ignorance show up.
Yeah, look, I mean, there are Black people anti-Semitic. There are Jewish people who are racist. That's certainly true. But there is such a rich history, as you point out, Chuck. But for Jewish people, we are living in an environment of elevated anti-Semitism, as you explained in the intro. And just about an hour ago, the FBI released an alert about a potential imminent threat against Jewish institutions in New Jersey. We're dealing with, in 2021, the highest number of anti-Semitic incidents the ADL has ever tracked in 45 years of doing this work. So the community has an anxiety level that's high, and we need public figures, whether they're basketball players or hip-hop musicians or presidential candidates, to stop the hate once and for all.
Look, I want to go back to the Brooklyn Nets. Have you gotten an explanation of why they're letting him play? Brooklyn. I mean, it just seems all extra insulting. This is a long history of a Jewish community in New York City. I don't imagine the Utah Jazz would have kept a player who attacked the LDS church.
I mean, I thought what Joe Tsai, the owner of the Nets, said on Friday night was really important. He called out the raw anti-Semitism, the movie that Kyrie promoted. I've been involved in a number of conversations over the past several days with the Nets, with the NBA, with the Players Association, even with Kyrie's family. But what's sad is, and we've got to focus on what he said and him having some accountability for it and realizing whether intentional or not, the harm that it caused. Because as you pointed out, Chuck, Brooklyn is like the original home of the Jews in New York City. Yeah. So to see this happen there in that place is incredibly troubling. I really hope we can move forward and heal, but healing requires accountability.
Yeah, no,
and that's what we're looking for here.
This is what I don't think Kyrie understands, how extra insulting it is for him to wear a Brooklyn uniform and to have these and say these things. He had a link to Amazon Prime where we found this. let's not ignore this problem.
At all. We need to talk about why Amazon would elevate such a film. I mean, Amazon makes choices all the time about the works of art that it privileges on its platform and those it doesn't have. They could simply make a statement like Barnes & Noble, we don't want to carry this book. That's not censorship. That's corporate choice. I think Amazon has made the wrong choice here. And then to bring it back to Kyrie, look, I don't believe in cancel culture, Chuck. I believe in counsel culture. Let's work to heal. So bring the Black and Jewish communities together and create really America should be no place for hate. Brooklyn should be no place for hate. I hope Kyrie will make that happen.
Yeah, I'm curious, have you reached out to some African-American leaders in New York City that maybe want to work with you to intervene with Kyrie Irving?
Great question. I'm certainly having discussions with civil rights leaders, prominent people from the African-American community in entertainment, in sports. There's so many people who are concerned about this. That's why I think these community conversations, Chuck, engaging young people, Jewish, Orthodox, Black, Brown, on the ground in the places where this matters can make a very big difference.
Yeah, the only piece of good news that's come out of this is a little extra education for my kids. They've been asking me a lot about where did Kanye get this and where did Kyrie get this? And look, it's education that's necessary. Anyway,
I want kids to wear the Kyrie. Sorry, I know you got to go. Thanks, Chuck.
I do. Sorry, Jonathan. Always appreciative of the work you're doing. So thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.